Good morning, um, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to some of you. To all of you, we want to say welcome to SKTV. Um, Welcome to the new week. Yesterday was Sunday, the start of the new week. Unfortunately, we could not air. So we want to say welcome to all of you today. Um, Welcome to our listeners, to our viewers all around the world. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, as you can see, I don't know if Sekou can stand this other one ball. Um, I spoke with him. He's still recuperating and recovering from the massive defeat yesterday in Labrogue and say the hell of a defeat. Last night or yesterday, Barcelona won, so it gives me more reason to wear a T-shirt, my Barcelona T-shirt today. For those of you who are Real Madrid fans, I want to say sorry to you, but we're back. 100% we're back in full swings. Barcelona is the best team in the world, whether you like it or not. I said the critics said after Messi leaves, there will be no Barcelona, but we're doing much better. Um, I don't know who Telvi supports. I'm not sure who Telvi supports, but maybe she will chime in here and let her know. I'm not sure who other members of the crew in the back support as well. I know that I think there are two other people that support Barcelona along with me. The other people that support Arsenal. Can you imagine Arsenal? Arsenal who be Arsenal? Yeah, hello. They, like they like not balance for you. Arsenal then all. Oh Lord. But yes, yesterday was a good day. We spent time watching the game here and just catching up with some work. But those of you who thought Barcelona was gone, Barcelona is back. So I'm very happy. All the Madrid fans are mad, but that's okay. We're looking forward to Madrid 49ers against. I think they're supposed to be playing Chelsea. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, or next week. I haven't really been following the Champions League lately. But either ways, they will fall inside again. They're making all kind of flimsy excuses, but they will fall inside. But yes, let's turn back to national issues. So today, if you see me in my Barcelona T-shirt or regalia, just note that we are celebrating our win. It's a win for us, a big win. Barcelona won bigly yesterday, so we're celebrating today. But and we'll continue the celebration throughout. La Liga, we still got chances to hopefully square some things out here. We're in the Europa League. We're in the quarterfinals. We could more likely so get to the semifinals here. I know the team that we selected to play against, Frankfurt. They're from Germany. They're not necessarily a strong team, Frankfurt, so that puts us automatically in the semifinals. With the momentum, the zeal, the enthusiasm we're moving with, I think we're well seated to move forward. But long story short, that is our Barcelona story for you. But we want to welcome all of you. Welcome to the show. Help us share the show, and let's let's have a conversation today. It's been hard not to follow the Liberian politics and what's trending. It's been a little difficult. Um, Sometimes you don't even want to talk about Liberian politics. You don't want to think about Liberian politics, but you really have no other option, especially if you're a Liberian and you're passionate about what's going on in the country. You have no other option. No other option. So we follow through. A lot of things unfolded, happened. Um, Lots of people have been reaching out on different levels for different things. And we have been talking, we have been talking behind the scene. We have been talking to a lot of people, texting a lot of people, communicating with a lot of people on different levels and on different things. So a lot of news is coming from Liberia. A lot of news. I'll give you an example. For example, it's been reported that Charlene Bronsky is eyeing to running Grand Bassa, for a representative seat. Charlene Bronsky is eyeing to run in Grand Bassa. That's an interesting unfolding news, which is not necessarily bad from a political standpoint. Is that what she wants to do? But a lot of things have been happening. I want to make a quick disclaimer that I've always made on here. I don't know about other people. I don't talk about people's private life. I don't share nude pictures or nude videos. I'm not into that. I would normally don't entertain people saying that to me. I'm not interested. If I wanted to see someone's, especially a man's nude, I'll go in the bathroom and see mine. I have one. I'd rather do that. I don't engage into that. I just want to be clear about that. I don't care who's involved, what's going on. I don't engage into that. That is not my symposium or cup of tea. That's not my area. I don't get involved with that. If I have my own will, I would actually prevent people from doing that, from sharing people's nude pictures, whatever it is. So I'm not a fan of that. I think I'm growing enough to understand that there are some things that I will not do. Yet, some people choose to do that, or they choose to engage in that. But I do not engage in that, and I don't get involved with that. I don't discuss people's private life. That's why when people come up with a sensational new breaking news, and the president and Jackie appear, that's not my business. That's how we have business. When Liberians wake up with the gossips and the foolish talks and the foolishness, and they want to discuss people's relationship, people's marriage, people's personal life, I don't engage into it. And I see people tuning in, and sometimes people tuning in the thousands or the hundreds or so forth. And they want to get sentimental, about it. They want to share it sometimes to the extent that, and the post said this, the post said that, but you, the post said that, but the other person. Listen, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. As evidenced by that, most of you would never know my personal life out of this Facebook. We'll talk politics and we'll stay right in politics. Because Liberian people, once you give them chance, to get to know you or to get comfortable with you, they will disrespect you. So I say to you who know better, don't allow them to get comfortable with you. Nope. Don't allow them to know about your personal lives. Don't allow them to come in your personal lives. Don't do that. Restrict them to social media, and that's it. That's why I don't let nobody get comfortable with me. So when you walk across the line, I keep you in check. I keep you straight in check. We're not going to do that. Anything I want you to know about me is what I will let you know about me. Anything I want you to know about me, that's something that would be public that I want you to know. And even as that, I'm still careful with my public life because I know us. I know us. I know us. We're Alec, we want to be cool, we want to be respectful. As soon as you bring them around, they get comfortable. They will disrespect you. They're not like other people. We Liberians, we're not like other people. When you're comfortable with them or you bring them around, they see as a way to respect you and for you to build a better relationship. Liberians, the opposite. As soon as you bring them around, they might bounce on you with disrespect. Nope. So yes, so I don't discuss that. You will never hear me in a conversation or sitting around discussing somebody's or sharing. No, I don't do that. Too grown for that. I do beef for that thing. I listen to one song, I do beef for that thing. I laugh with a Liberian, but it's cool. There's a lot of messaging there. The country too hard and your body ain't got whether follow the packet and power follow the packet instead of whether. I listen to all the different talking. But yes, to be serious and to be honest on a serious note, these are not things that I will get involved with normally. Nope. I'm not interested, to be very honest. And I think once we all start to take stands like these, it will help, it will make a difference. But long story short, today we have a lot to discuss. Today we want to focus on change, and this will take our story and our conversation into a lot of different things. It would take our conversation into different things and so forth. Yes, Celestine Sebatape, I'm 100% sure, and that's why you don't know me. You wish you knew me, but I'm 100% sure about everything I've said here. Since you wanted attention, I'll put you on the spotlight. Yes, I'm 100% sure, Celestine Sebatape. Very 100%. 1,100% sure. But good try though. So, a lot of things to discuss. We're going to talk about change today. And this might incorporate a lot of different conversations. This will bring a lot of things. Some of the things that we see around us. Some of the things that we see happening around us. I was talking to a friend this morning. Very early on this morning, I was talking to a friend. And I was talking about how much I'm concerned about Liberia. And I'm concerned about the future. Another friend, Saturday night, I was at the wedding, called me and had to step out for us to talk. And this friend was concerned also about what can be done about Liberia. And sadly, just before we play the music and share the show, sadly, but truly, I told this friend that the change that we are actually seeking, unfortunately, might not be effectuated in our generation. It's sad to say. More likely so, not even in a generation of our children who are above 5 years old, because it seems as though there is some contamination in these different groups. I say it could possibly be our great grandchildren, if we actually fight well and we continue. It could possibly be that. Those are the people that maybe we might not be alive, but that will affect with the change, or that experience this change, but this current generation, certain age group, they're already infested. What we're doing now, we're setting the stage. I mean, as hard as it sounds, as unrealistic and unpainful it sounds, that all the work that has been put in, somebody will make this kind of assessment, or somebody will say this. So then why should we even continue what we're doing? But that's the truth, though. That's the truth. That's the hardcore truth. To be very honest, that is. When Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and other people fought for equality in this country, they were truly not thinking about their generation. They were not thinking about maybe the next generation preceding them. That was a long way down. Especially when Martin Luther King I'll paraphrase, talk about, they will get there, climb the mountain, and they will get there someday. That was to tell you that it was a long way. It was a long way. It was a long shot. It was. And today, here we are in the United States, Black people. The level of discrimination, yes, don't get me wrong, is still here. Racism is still here. But it has decreased significantly to some extent. Here we are. Today, we can attend certain schools. We can go to certain places. Today, we're even talking about Supreme Court Justice being a Black woman. I was watching the news sometime this morning, and the hearing, and I was like, wow, things have changed. Some people are sacrificing the fought for this. But yes, so let's get to the musical break here really quick, share the show, and we'll go from there. Let's share the show, please. Help us to share the show. And we'll go from there into the conversation. A lot is unfolding. Somebody said they want to find friends. Okay, let's find a friend. Let's do it.
Lump.
It's
Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me.
Bombe oh, find a friend like me. Bombe Jene oh, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me.
Hey, see bestie. Your bestie not sweet like my bestie. Your bestie da la bestie. Find a friend like me.
I say, see bestie wanting to wealthy. Find a friend like me. I hear them say they want me go. I say
Some of them say they want me go.
I say
Some friends you learn, oh. Some friends you learn, oh.
okoro, 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 okoro. They won't step on my blessing, but God get it breaking heart. Okoro, they won't call it my blessing, but God get it breaking heart. Okoro.
French, see French, can't see Papa T French. I don't want no back for French. I don't want no wet French. Wangolo, 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 wangolo. Wango for bestie, wango for daddy, wangolo.
I hear them say, they want me go, I say, I hear them say, they want me go, I say,
Some friends in some friends in some friends in friends in hey, bestie, the bestie na friend by my bestie, the bestie la bestie, fine friend like me.
I say, see bestie, wanting to wefty, want him, I don't need find a friend like me.
Well, we were unable to share the show for some reason. We were logged out, so we don't know what's happening. But let's sign in really quick here. Very sorry, but let's sign in really quick here and give us a break here. Let's sign in really quick, and we'll be back in a second, please. Please and please.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, come on. I know you're sleeping now, you gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not do. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? See, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people don't want to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they said they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray? They have enough for time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the for us. With the promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to grieve? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and little on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
The government betray us, they can lie, they can steal, they corrupt, and that's truth. And so is everyone else that joins or follows this government. Well, today we want to focus on change, as you can see the headline or the topic. Are Liberians really interested in change? I've been asking myself the same question. I'm not talking about different people, but I'm talking about Liberians. Are we really interested in change? But this has been a question that everyone might have different answer to. I want to be honest. Everyone might have different answer to it. And with the different answers, there are also different things to consider. Whether it's interest, personal interest, national interest, all of these factors have to be taken into consideration, all of them, because they all work together to effectuate change. We cannot separate personal interests, national interests, and everything together from change. To be very honest, we cannot do that. Because when you do that, then either you would be exposing yourself or you would be confusing some things. I really want us to focus on change in terms of looking at growth, in terms of looking at progression, in terms of looking at us Liberians as patriots. I had to take the other laugh out because Darlene Foley, said, my man, I've been Barcelona fan from day one. Ask all of our viewers. Me and Seven would not rocket on the show ever Barcelona and Real Madrid been brother. So I'm not one of your Barcelona fans that I just joined today because Barcelona win you. No, I've been Barcelona fan for a long time, my man. Yeah, we've been in the trenches with the Barcelona been in. He said, I'm telling you, brother, go check the record. I'm a stunned Barcelona fan. I think from I've been Barcelona fan either from 2003 or 2002. Yes, all the way back in Africa, my man. I've been chasing the team yet. So the team will not survive behind the team. We not win, we not lose, we not get bet. we now cry. But we still been supporting the team, and we still support the team, my man. And we see prospect in the team. To be honest, we see say you told me, let me come a little bit to this, and then we'll get back to that. We see prospect in the team. Like I wrote on my Facebook page or feed the other day, I'm just a little concerned about the defense. But I think we have a young, balanced midfield, with these young guys. I know very soon we'll be getting rid of Busquets and maybe incorporating another young player. But I like the fact that we have a Pedri and we have the other young kid in the midfield there with him. On the top, we got some young people there. We got Ansu Fati, who hasn't been too well. He hasn't recovered fully for his injury, but he will recover. He will recover, and he's a force to reckon with. So can you just imagine if we were to put him in the current team that we have now, to play that attacking role with the attackers we already have, it will be it's something to worry about. But our defense, we got a couple of old folks in the defense. We got a couple of old folks. So recruiting new defenders will be good. That would be my suggestion for our team. Just recruit new defenders and that's it. But I think for the next few years, we'll be very, very good. Barcelona will be very good. And we could rise up again. We could rise up again. I wouldn't advise them to bring Messi back. I wouldn't advise them to do that because the team is transitioning from that era of having just the team surrounded around one face, whether that was Ronaldinho or Messi. The team is transitioning into somebody to focus on the discussion into a different thing. But to be honest, the team is doing well. So but let's get back to the discussion. That's truth. Focus on the Labrimpo discussion. That's why we're here and lead the football business. We're talking about the football business on the other end. We the football fans and the fanatics. We'll talk about it on the other end. But on some serious note, to be very honest, let's come back to change. I think, and there are a couple of questions that when and if you go to our Facebook, to SKTV Facebook feed or the live, you would see the questions that we asked there today based on the topic that we're having. But I want to zoom in on change. I want us to zoom in on change because it's important for us to understand. And when and if we talk about change, then it has to be most of the people that are ready to go that way. It makes it harder to have change when you have most of the people stay dreading or dragging, and you have to haul and pull them to bring them forward. Change is hard. Let me just be honest. Transitioning can be hard, but change is very good. Change is good, especially when it's a healthy, progressive, balanced, and good change. Change is good. I want to be honest. Change is good. And so the question we're still asking is, are we ready for change? Are Liberians really ready for change? And if so, change also requires sacrifice. It requires a lot. It requires more than just saying it in our mouths. It requires hard decisions. It requires accountability. It requires us doing things maybe not the same way. Change requires a lot. Let me just be honest. It requires a lot. And like I was saying earlier on, we might not get the change that we want because changing itself is very uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable transition. Change is not normally something that's welcoming. Let me say it that way. It's not welcoming, especially with the system and the kind of people we are as Liberians. Most of us Liberians, we quick to be satisfied. Let me put it that way. We're quick to be satisfied. Let me put it in a Liberian way. very easily content, quick to be satisfied. And at the result, we settle for less. At the result, we don't see ahead. We don't. A few weeks ago, no, sometimes last year, I spoke to a friend who lives in Aricos, and he was telling me about the project that they're taking from Aricos, from one part of Aricos to another part. They're taking, they're taking, they're actually opening a runway from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro, and they're using these electric trains. Some of the train that you ride on other parts of the East Coast and other parts of this country, those trains that you ride. The other time I know, when I rode it from New Jersey, from the airport to go to the rode a train from the airport to go to the rental car area where we had to pick up the rental car. And you see how that train is very fast. It's moving 24/7. It's a good transportation. It facilitates and moves things faster. So he's telling me how much the Ivorian government is investing into that, in modern day technology, in Aricos. But that requires a lot of resources. It requires innovation. You are thinking ahead of things. So that means they will have options in transportation if somebody chooses to catch the bus. I know from Yamoussoukro to Abidjan, most of the times people catch public transportation, which is the bus, the big bus, or these different buses. They have different options on these buses to travel. But now you have the option to catch the train. And in catching the train, it's very fast because the trains don't have to stop to the red light or whatever it is. Most times when they get to their destination before they stop, or if they have to stop in another city to drop and pick up passengers. So you see, but that in itself is development. The reason I'm saying this is because here are our neighbors right next to us. These guys have changed. And because they've changed, they don't have to come to Europe. They don't have to come to America. They don't have to go to other parts of the world to experience Europe. The first time I saw an escalator in my life was in Abidjan. The first time. It was in Abidjan. And I was stunned. I was younger. But I was like, okay, this thing exists in Africa. The reason I'm saying this to you and to us is to see what change can do. Whoever has this name, please don't write. Listen, please don't write a funny comment here. I know who has this name. Please don't write a funny comment here again. Please don't do that. You want to write these derogatory, disrespectful comments? We told you before the rules here. Don't write in here. We're talking something serious. Don't bring that your funny conversation you carry somewhere else or write on your page. Please don't do that. We're begging you. Please don't do that on here. We're begging. Don't write funny comments on here about white face or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that here, please. We don't condone that here. You know better. Thank you. But let's get back to the conversation. So you see what change can do. We have not been able to move forward because we're stuck. We're stuck. We have not been able to move forward. We're stuck. We are stuck. As a nation, we are stuck. As a people, we are stuck. I'm being honest, we are stuck. And quickly, I'll run you through the stages of change so you can understand. We are stuck as a nation. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, I beg you. Let me do this quick. Give me 1 second, I beg you. Just 1 second. Just hang on 1 second, please. I gotta make sure I lower it.
You don't even know my story. You don't even know your story, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know, on the beat, I be a loca. So moral. You post your new car on Facebook. But I so la la. You working part-time. Bluffing and acting jealous, say you photo. My advice for you, in my way, I got to confess. Confession. You gotta confess. You must have the impression. Enjoyment, die your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, die your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing.
It's never gonna be another man trash, it's another man treasure. Another man fool, it's another man poison. Got your code, according to your measurement. Got your code, according to your measurement. The player ain't garish, and they play booty. Just because so impression, impression, fake impression, impression, yeah. You don't even know my story, or you want to share my glory, oh yeah. Every you my way, oh way, oh Zangale. Every oh you my way, oh way, oh Zangale. Every touch you my way, oh way, oh.
All right, sorry, I'm back. I left something that I had to go take care of quick and get it off. So I had to make sure that I take it off before it, it spoils or whatever it is. So sorry about that. I had to go take care of that. But let's get back to the conversation here. I think so. Then the question becomes, first of all, before we dive into this change, what is change in itself? Because we have to understand what change is. And if we're really interested in change, then we have to know it. We can't just be passing around, truly speaking, and be professing change. That's not how it works. It's just like we who are Christian, we keep saying faith. Oh, we got faith in God, and we get faith in God. But then if we don't put that faith to work, it's counterproductive. We can't be saying faith, and we're not putting it to work. So we have to put our faith to work for it to work. Let me put it that way. Faith has to be accompanied with work. So in the context of speaking about change, so we started to look at the definition of change. Basically, it means making something or someone different, or you modify something, or you replace something. These are all things that can be attributed to change. But then the question in our politics or in Liberia, that the question in our politics in Liberia is, if we, I mean, I'll have to mute the comment section here. I will not see nobody. I will not see nobody comment. But the question about this change in Liberia and about us Liberians is, even if we choose or we decide to replace someone or something, what is it that we're replacing this thing for? Or someone? So change must be done with plans so that it can be effectuated, it can go smoothly, it can move on. You can't just say you want to change and there is no plan. You can't just say you want to playing also without changing. So we're stuck. We're stuck. And one of the questions that we also ask is, what kind of change do we really want though? Because there are replacement changes at this point of our lives. Do we actually want replacement change? Such as, I gave you a common example. You are vexed with all men, or most men, and all women, or most women. So you decide to say, well, you want to replace one man for another. Or something happened, and you say, okay, I'll replace the person for this other person. Okay, does that necessarily mean that you will not encounter the same problems that you encounter with that person, or with that same gender, or with the choices that you've made? Does that really mean that? So let's say, for example, and I will get a little political about this before I get into the stages of change and what we need to think about and where we get stuck as Liberians. Let me give you the example. You've had Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Joseph Yoman Boakai, George Weah, Joy Howard Taylor, Buffers Chimber, Abbott Chie. These 6 people have ran the country, Liberia, for a little over 16 years. 6 of them. They've ran the country for a little over 16 years. All of them, one way or the other. Especially the first 4. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Joseph Yoman Boakai, George Weah, and Joy Howard Taylor. First 4 of them, they've ran the country for 14 years. For more than 16 years. As evidenced by President George Weah, Senator or Senior Senator of Monserrado County before becoming president. Joy Howard Taylor, she was in the Senate for so long as well. Joseph Yoman Boakai, 12 years vice president. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, 12 years president. All 4 of them. Buffer Chima were in the House of Representatives. But you tell me that you want to change the system. You want to change something. But you say you want us to vote back for Joseph Yoman Boakai after 12 years. You got the same people who are comfortable with the same thing, understand the same system, and you just want to do replacement. You move one group of them. The same thing you did with George Weah. You say you are moving the Ellen group. Good. You move them, you say you don't want them. Oh, because George Weah is using the same system, the things that they used to do. And I keep saying this, everything that you see George Weah doing, everything that you see the CDC doing, they learn it from the Unity Party. This is a pattern and a system that all of them are working, they're comfortable with it. But you tell us that because George Weah is messing up with the same system that he knows. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something today. Take this as politics or not. I want you to follow George Weah and so forth. The June 7 protests. Follow the CDC level government, the June 7 protests. There was George Weah, Natana McGill, Costa, the Mo Ali, and other people. All of them, the Food and Liberian people, when we should have held the government accountable. If we had stuck with that June 7 protests and held the government accountable, by now probably we wouldn't have the auditors dead. By now we wouldn't have some of the shenanigans that we see going on. Because that was a pivotal moment. It was a pivotal moment. That opportunity was blown. And you know what? The protest was sold these guys collected money for the protests. And the reason they did that is because the CDC-led government understood that the same thing Ellen used to do to them. Every time they wanted to stage a protest or they wanted to get serious or something to hold Ellen accountable, they would call them behind closed door and give them small thing. Then they would quiet down. Even if they stage a protest, that's all before. When you see these guys angry staging a protest for a longer time, maybe because they haven't reached that deal yet. Once they reach the deal, they will cut it off. So you see, so these guys understand the system. They understood it. So they play on your intelligence, and they are playing on your intelligence again, as we're seeing. And some of you, some of us, ignorantly, we want change. We desire change. But some of you also, and some of us also, we see the blatant tricks, lies, and so forth. We settle for them. Or because, let me tell you something. Change is not a person or an institution. No, it's not. Change is not restricted to a person or institution. So that means when Martin Luther King was killed, the fight for change did not stop because Martin Luther King was not there. The fight for change did not stop. It didn't stop. It did not stop. So your change cannot be dependent on your hero or your political leader or someone that you look up to, whether from a political standpoint or from a family. It can be dependent on them. It has to be a desire. Let me tell you something. Who told you that some days we can want to come on here? Who really told you that? We don't. But you know why we have to come? Because we understand the importance of having this conversation free of charge, where you will come, some of you, you would vent your anger, you would cuss, you would disrespect us, you would dishonor us. We still yet come on a daily basis. We are stuck as a nation. We're stuck as a nation. We have to make, listen, we have to make this decision to change. We have to transition. We have to. We have to. It might not be the most favorable thing you want to do at this point of your life. It might not be the person that you wanted to effect with this change. It might not be the one that you support. But we have to do this. Not for us necessarily, especially all of us that are in the diaspora. Almost all of us that are in the diaspora, we don't worry about food business. Most of us don't worry about money because we have jobs. Most of us don't worry about how our children will go to school because schools are available. We have options. You can look through the different schools and say, I don't want my child to go to this school as long as those schools are within your school, your area zone code or the perimeter or wherever you live or the county or the state or whatever. You have that option. Most of us. So those are not burning issues. So we on the side should be at level head to make this decision of change and try to push it to effectuate change. We who on this side? We who on this side? We who on this side in the diaspora should be the people that should be standing up for what is right. Can you imagine you in a country? Yes, or district, you're right. Can you imagine you in a country where, look, it's sad. Can you imagine you are in a country where you are able to work honestly and get honest living without any noise behind you, without anybody putting hands behind you, whatever it is? And yet some people are still involved with scams, corruption. Some people are still depending on the poor people money back home, Liberia, the money that is supposed to take to help the poor people back home. Some people are still depending on that money, waiting for government officials to steal and send them money or get them money. Then why are you here? Why are you in this country? Some people, as we speak, they're on government payroll, they're on government salary. They're not working in the government. They come on Facebook, they go on other places, lie for the government, make excuses. And they're on government payroll. They're in this country. When they can go to McDonald's, we all can go to McDonald's and get a job. It's an honest job, nothing wrong with it. As long as you can make an honest living, it doesn't matter. Maybe that's where you want to start off, or maybe that's the job you want to be. That's fine. Some people are still collecting from the people back home. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Some people go above and beyond to sacrifice themselves, their integrity, their life, their children, their family, their livelihood, to laugh for the government, to make excuses. They're still collecting money from the government. They will tell you they don't care. They will tell you they don't care. They will tell you they don't care. The easiest thing we could do is to just hold the government accountable. There is nothing wrong in us holding people that we support. As a matter of fact, that's what we should do. When you elect people, you hold them accountable. There is nothing wrong. It's not a disrespect. You are not doing anything wrong. You don't elect people, then come and make excuses for them. Most of the times, I only in Liberia, I see it. We have this common saying now in Liberia that has become a trend in Liberia. Everybody protect their own criminal. I see everybody making excuses and defending things that they don't even know about. They're defending it. People changing their profile pictures. People doing this other one, going above and beyond. You will be sitting home. These people, their families are sitting home, they're sleeping. But they call you in a little chat room, they send a notice to all of you. Y'all go there and defend. Y'all go there and defend. And, grown people are there defending. Just imagine. Just imagine. When those people who are doing it wrong, or who are doing those things, or who are the perpetrators, their children, their family member, their significant others, their close friends, you never see them one day posting in that direction to defend their family member. But you are making fool of yourselves. How sad that is. And some of you, when you are caught down, when the facts come out, how do we restore you? What do we say about you going forward? But I want to talk to you about where we are stuck before I open the line. I want to talk to you about where we are stuck. We're stuck as a nation. We're stuck as a nation. We are. We're seriously stuck as a nation. You see, anybody who want to change things, whether in your personal life or from a clinical perspective, there are stages you go through. There are. And these stages, when you are stuck in one, you don't make progression to the other. You don't make progression to the other. With Chile in Liberia, at this moment, this will sound pay attention to what I'm about to say. From the beginning, it will sound weird. But when you listen, it will make sense. We don't, at this moment, at this stage of our lives, in the history of Liberia, at this time, we don't need jobs. We don't need companies. We don't need investors. No, that's not what we need. We need to take care of ourselves, our problem first. We have a serious problem. I don't care how much job, how much company, how much investor, how much money you invest in Liberia. If we don't get this change business right, you will be making politicians rich. You will be making the bad people bad. You will be enabling the behavior and facilitating some of the bad things that they do. You will be covering up for them and you'll be aiding and abetting them. I'm being very honest. We need to get things in place. We do. As a country. I don't fault. Now I see some things. I don't fault my brothers and my sisters who are in CDC, who have chosen to be lifelong sycophants. I don't. You see any opposition? People in the opposition do wrong. They rather troops to support or to defend the wrong. Even when the wrong is glaring, they make excuses. They defend their own people. What kind of country is this? What kind of people are we dealing with? At what point do we sit there and say, screw this person, screw that person, and let's look at the bigger picture? At what point do we do that? At what point, though? What stage of our life will we do it? Because some of us, our parents, have been hoping for the same change. They're getting older. They're not seeing it. So some of them just got tired. Let me tell you something. There's some Liberians that don't even want to identify with Liberia. They don't even want to. There are some friends I have that will always come and say, my man, leave the Liberian people politics. The people will not change. These people don't like themselves. They don't want good. Some of them say, my man, me, Liberia not seeing my face again. And I get time for that. I think what they're doing with it. Because the same rigmarole we were in, God bless her, we count this out. That means so will be giving myself heart. Do you know how many friends I have that tell me on a daily basis, move yourself from in these people think, brother, these people are not serious. It is tiring. He said most of them tell me they would disrespect you. When you say the truth, they will not listen. They don't want to change. It's jealous. You can say, like, bro, swear behind them or curse behind them. They will not change. They will support one bad person to another. They promote bad people. When you try to hold them accountable, they go after you. When you try to say the truth, they shut you down. They like people who can lie to them, who can fool them. Say these people will not change. So like I was saying to you, these different stages of change, we must do them. I'll give you an example. We use them sometimes for people who want to change their lives, who want to change their behavior. We use it to apply to them. We use it to apply to them. People who want to change their life, who want to change anything. Let's take, for example, let's just give this an example. And we use this and we'll bring it into the politics or the limelight. Let's take this example. People who want to, let's say you realize that drinking is a problem for you. And you want to quit drinking. You want to stop drinking. There are some things that you must do to change. Let me tell you something. You will not go to the church and the pastor speak in tongue and you stop drinking tomorrow. That is not true. Anything you want to live in life, any behavior that you want to change, any behavior you want to change, you must go through these steps. And I want to point it out to you really quick in terms of change. And you will think about them in your private time, and we'll open the lines and go, and go over one or two things. If you don't take these things into consideration, you can rest assured that you'll be in cycles. And if you are stuck in one of these things that I'm about to point out to you, then whatever you are thinking about changing might most likely not happen. And that's where we are, most of us Liberians. We're stuck. So let's run through them really quick. When you want to change something, the first thing you must do is you must pre-contemplate on it. Let me say it again. You must pre-contemplate on it. That means you must start imagining in your head and thinking about that thing that you want to leave it, you want to change it, or so forth. You must start thinking about it. Start thinking about that behavior. In the pre-contemplation stage, most of the times, it will be marked by denial or refusal. Because we as human beings, we don't want to acknowledge that we have a problem. We don't want to acknowledge that we have a problem. We don't want to seem like we have a problem. We don't want to, sometimes we don't even want to accept it because it has become a behavior, it has become a habit. So we don't want to accept it, that this is a problem. This thing must be changed because we're used to it. Remember in Liberia, you will say, oh, the people are used to the suffering. Oh, the poor, we're just bad. We're just wait till 2023, we're just bad. We're just bad. Remember in Liberia, that's what we say. That's what we said. I'll say again, in Liberia, that's what we say. We get to that stage, we get stuck. So because we don't want to change that behavior, we think about the consequences. If you were somebody who were drinking, you start to think about the drinking, how now when you come home, you will not get liquor again to, oh God, will I really be able to do this? So guess what you do? Oh, let's just forget it. You're stuck in that pre-contemplation stage. You're in denial that there is no problem. When people point out the problem, you start to defend, you start to become defensive. You won't fight everybody else. You make excuses for it, you justify it. The problem is there, but you're making excuses, you're justifying it, you're doing it, you're doing that. Take, for example, somebody will tell you, say, oh, Joseph Boaga, oh, let's just bring the old man there, and let him just be there. We know the old men are old men. Let him just be there for 3 years, and we know he will not even finish the presidency. Like, they know it's a problem. They know. They know it's a problem. Who said they don't know? Or other people say, let's just get Joe. We are 12 years. The opposition are ready yet. Let's get a man 12 years. Let's just get a man 12 years. They know Joe is a problem. They know that Joe leadership is a problem for the country. But Ellie had 12 years, so let's just get a man 12 years. After the man 12 years, then we can look for a different person now to come. Let's just get a man 12 years. They're not thinking about the damage that's happening. They're not thinking about the repercussion. They're not. Because they don't want to change it. They're comfortable. They don't want to take the hard decision. Someone will go behind closed door and say, my man, the country not doing well. Imagine. Someone will go behind closed door. I read somebody post the other time talking about they should just give the thing to Jowea and they should only have elections for the representative and the senators. They should just give it to Jowea. I just sat on for long. I said, wow. So yes. So most time people are in denial that there is even a problem. I'll give you some of the common excuses we hear. Well, it's crime in every country. There's crime everywhere. Even in America, they're living in crime there. And they can keep people there. Or you hear things like, well, you guys, when the United Party were doing this, that Joey Atana, you won't talk. Or you hear people like shameless United Party partisans. You hear them saying, Joseph Boaga will kind of set the country on the right path. Joseph Boaga will kind of and just, set the country and just turn it over to her. You will just set the country and get turned in war. Okay. So you see how we are stuck. But once you're stuck over there, but once you come to that first stage wherein you want to make that change and you contemplate on it, you consider the consequences, you consider the risk, you consider some of the things that you will have to do, because in change, there is a part where you are responsible. Change don't just happen. Most of the times you're responsible to effectuate answer. Yeah. Achimo, that's a good point too. Somebody will say, coming too desperate. And I hate time yet. He too desperate. Nobody know him. Let him go in the back of the line. Or what Taiwan ain't going? Taiwan not going nowhere. You know, Taiwan is a good man. But then they start looking for all the but to justify why they wouldn't make the right decision, even though the man's a good man. Even though they claim the man's a good man, they start to make all the justification for that. They will justify it. They will justify it. Why the man is a good man, but they cannot put a good man there. You see it? They know that the person is good, but they deliberately refuse to accept him as being good. It's a problem. They make all the excuses to do the right thing. Only us Liberians can do that. We see the right people, we see the right thing, but we make all the excuses. All the excuses, we justify everything up to the point wherein we go in awe. When we find one or two good people around us or amongst us, we try to contaminate them. We try to make them bad. We try to make them bad. One good person or somebody even trying to do their best to do good, we will do everything we can to bring that person down. Yeah, you're right. See that? They make excuses like he's a good man, but I not hate time. Like good people get time. When the Bible finish destroy everything, they're good people. Even when the Bible finish destroy everything, then you make excuse again to come and say you're not put the good people there to fix it. And these same bad people, some of the things they do, they funnel money through people to convince you to lie to you. I will close with something very interesting. But let me move to the second place quick. While we make it. The second stage is we get to the, after we finish pre-contemplating and thinking about this problem and accepting that it's a problem and we need to work on it and fix it, then we get to pre-contemplation. In pre-contemplation, you start to make decisions. You're suffering from indecision at that point. Whether you really want to go through this change. Because let me say it to you. Let me say it like somebody wrote here earlier. Change requires sacrifice. Let me tell you the truth. Change requires sacrifice. I'll be honest with you. It requires sacrifice. The same way how when you want to change your wardrobe or you want to change your dressing, you will sometimes have to do overtime. And sometimes you'll even be tired. You don't want to go to work, but you want that money to do the overtime so that you can be able to buy what you want. You will have to work on inconvenience yourself to go to work on the days that you don't normally go to work because you want to do that overtime. You don't want to go beg anybody. You want to have an honest living and brag about your earnings. So you do that. You sacrifice your bedtime, your time with your children, your leisure time, your time you're supposed to be resting, only because you want to go and earn that honest money to buy that thing that you want, because you don't want to beg anybody, or you don't want your need to be in anybody's mouth. But you see, the change that you wanted to make, though, you start contemplating on the sacrifices. Just think about it in a common sense. That change that you want to make, you want to buy a new couch in your house. You start thinking about some of the things that you have to forego for that time. Yes. Sometimes that you have to pull off some strips. Sometimes you will have to cut down on some things. So even though you recognize there is a problem, the problem is I want a new couch, or the problem I don't want to be drinking again. And some of us, maybe in our contemplation stage, we might have to disconnect from some people or some places. And you would love to hang out with your girls, but you know that it's tempting when you go out there, you will drink because they will offer you drink or you smoke. They will offer you hookah, and you can't resist that temptation. So you say to yourself, I will discipline myself. I will stay to my house. Even when my girls call, sometimes I might not answer the phone. No, I'm not going to the other play Muna. Me, don't put me in trouble. You let us. The Muna person let us. Me, we're not going there. I'm repeating that. I say, you're not about to get me situation I can't handle yet. I beg you. Muna, you're not getting me situation I can't handle yet. I beg you. Yes, that's true. Sometimes you have to get rid of the old clothes. You know, so yes. These are all things that lead to change. The factors that we must take into consideration, my people. So from the pre-contemplation stage, you come to the contemplation stage where you are making decision. You are indecisive at that point. It's okay for you to struggle with your decision. Now you put a big list down. You start considering the pros and the cons. You start, to some point in that stage, you start viewing yourself, how you will look in that new dress. How your hair will look. Even though you get it, you start imagining, you start visualizing it. So that alone motivates you to want to do what you need to do to get a new couch or this new person that you want to be, to quit drinking for your health or for other things, or to be able to get your driver license back so that you can get a job or you can get a car or whatever it is. So you see, you start thinking about some of the things that you got to forgo. Then you now got to make that decision, because nobody else will make that decision for you. Because all the people that you go to gym with, probably they have their driver license. You don't. Probably they have a job. You don't. So at the end of the day, you screw. So at this point, it becomes a decision that you have to make for yourself. So you see how change incorporates you. So that means the change that we're talking about, all of us, which should be all of us, whether you are Sidisha, wherever you are, is to see a Liberia where your children and great-grandchildren or other children or other family members or people that you left back home can benefit from this change. It can't just be about you, the government sending you something at the end of the month. No, because that's eating into your future, eating into the future of other people too. Because when you take the time to defend the government on wrongs, you take the time to defend your political leaders on wrongs, you take the time to defend your political party on wrongs that they've done and they continue to do and mistakes that they continue to make, then it impacts the bigger goal though. And these politicians are benefiting, whether you like it or not. These guys are building homes. Those homes are not in your name. You will never benefit from it. You will never see it. But you find pleasure in waking up to justify for the wrong that they're doing. So you see how, I don't care what you do, it impacts and affects you. This is sad. So what change do we really want, all of us? And when we say some of these things, people get mad. People take it personal. What change do we want? What kind of change do we want? Do we just want to just replace people and go back into the same cycle? Because let me tell you something, behavior does not change. It either subsides or it gets worse. It doesn't change. If Joseph Boakai was not doing the job 12 years ago, when you put him there for 3 years or 6 years, he will not do the job. President Weah was a red flag to me. When he got elected as senator, he did nothing, collected brown envelopes, went and sat down in Paris and watched his son play and watched PSG play and watched soccer and got entertained. It was a red flag. Whether you like it or not, these are facts. Nothing against President George Weah. It's not personal. It's just the truth. And if you decide to ignore these truths and you still want to support these guys, that's fine. But just note that you are making a conscious decision to do these things. And it impacts the country. It impacts the children. It impacts the next generation. And whether you like it or not, at some point you'll be held liable and accountable for these things. You will. And it's a problem for all of us. It's a problem for all of us. Yes, Mona, you're right. You want a debt free. So you pay your credit card. So that means if you have to forgo that Brazilian wheat, or you have to forgo that fake nails for a couple of months, or the fake hair, and some of us, we the men, if you have to forgo that Gucci belt, and not passing around adding flour to the party there and go and taking VIP seat or whatever it is, go sit somewhere in a regular seat and pay your $50 and start spending $250 a night living above your means when that's not what you can earn at your job. Stop it. Come to terms with reality. That's how you effectuate change. When you don't sit in that VIP seat that night because you have to prioritize your priority. You don't sit in that VIP seat that night, it will not change your name. You will still be a big boy. You sitting in that VIP seat does not make you a big boy. What makes you a big boy is you take care of your responsibility. You prioritize your priority. So that you are not calling after the party for people to help you to correct your rent. But they see big boy, then they will take that big boy me and carry it around. Because you were trying to impress people last night. I don't understand our mindset, Liberians. Yes. God just sees us, you're right. Stop buying these big cars that will put you inexpensive. That will put expensive on you. It will put a lot of, it will drain you. Some of you have to be doing everything you can. Some of you can't even sleep in your own bed because you got to work the overtime. You're looking older than your age because you've incurred so much expensive. You want to live above your means. That's not how change. That's not how change is. It's sad. It is sad. But let's go to the next stage. In the next stage, after the contemplation, you must start preparing. You must start preparing. In this stage, it will require for you to change your behavior. It will require for you to take actions. Let me tell you the truth. It will require for you to change your behavior and take actions. It will. You know, a few years ago, some of my friends did not understand where we're headed. We used to pass around and play football. It was fun. It was a good thing. I came to a point where I realized that I had to focus. I had to do some things. And I did not necessarily have to meet the consensus of the team or the group I was associating with or the people I was associating with at the time. So I sat down to myself. Nobody told me, not my man, not my partner, nobody. I said to myself, in this country, where do I want my life to be for the next 5 or 10 years? That's why in this country, at your job, and other places, they will ask you, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Even at school, they are asking our children, what do they want to see? Because they want to see where your mind is. They want to see where you are thinking. Have you ever sat down before and asked yourself, 5 years from now, where do you want to be? Now, if you are not asking yourself, where do you want to be 5 years from now? That is a sign that you don't want no change in your life. That means after 5 years from now, when we still see you fighting the baby shower, it's not a surprising thing because you had no goal, no plan, no vision for your life. So you are stuck. So you and all your little sister there, who were 18 years, who were 17, 15, they will be to the party and fighting maybe for the same man. Because there is no vision. Change that not something where you just wake up one day and just change. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Change that not something where you go to the church and you speak in tongues and you fast and pray and the pastor tell you your life will change next year, and automatically your life changes next year. That's not truth. I challenge you to prove me wrong on that. It must be planned. It must be coordinated. You must see yourself in that way. You must see the line clear and walk in that and work to make it, and work hard to make it happen. If your goal 5 years from now is to drive a Mercedes-Benz, then I will tell you what, you need to start increasing your income and saving. You need to do that. That is part of change. Contemplate on it. Think about it. Pre-contemplate on it. What it will cost you. What are things that you must do? What are sacrifices you must make? Where do we want to see Liberia? Come 2029. Come 2023. After 2023. You just want to see a new president and remove George Weah? That's the goal? That is the goal? Because maybe George Weah you are not on a payroll. Or George Weah board and cut you off, so you pays off temporarily. That's the goal. Or that you will replace George Weah with Joseph Human Boakai, and Joseph Human Boakai used to be there before, and you understand what he used to do. So once he's replaced, then he will come there, and you will go back to business as usual. On your own Joseph Human Boakai time. Or do you want to be a proud Liberian? To say finally some level-headed people have taken over this country. Let me tell you something. When you have a good leader, it makes you even proud to identify with your country. When they call your country name somewhere, nobody can ask you to identify with that country. You will rush to identify with that country. The reason why some of you are hiding, do not even want to identify with Liberia, because of the disgraceful things that the leaders are doing, the way the country is going. Let's be very honest. It's not that you don't love Liberia. And your love for Liberia cannot be to another person, though. It must be to Liberia. When I hear people saying they were born seditious who are 40 years old, it tells me that they don't even know what they're talking about. Because you are older than CDC. How can you be a born sedition? How? It tells me you don't know what you're talking about. It tells me you have a bigger problem. It does. When you are a grown and mature person, and you take your hard-earned money, you support people, and you see people insult you, they disregard you, they don't listen to what you say, but you still support them financially, you have a problem. That person don't have a problem. You have an inherent problem. Let's come back to this stage of change. So you must take action. To be honest, in a preparation stage, you must start to take action. You will have to change some behavior. So long story short, at the time you will start hearing your friend and telling you, say, you think you're better than them. When you now made that decision not to do the thing I used to do again, they will start gossiping and say, you think you're better than them. Who you think you are? And then they won't bring all the small things that I used to do behind closed doors sometimes to annoy you or tell other people to go and talk about you in places that they're not so talking. Listen, don't be deterred. That change is not for them, it's for you. They will adjust. Because when you reach where you want to reach, they will start announcing. Listen, when I first came to America, there's an old man that sent me that told me, is it my son? He said, the Papa in Labrador now. Is that my son? Don't waste your time in the country. Don't waste your time in the country. Behind party, behind chilling and other things. Don't waste your time. I said, why you say that? He said, because from the time I came to the country, almost 30 years ago, we've been partying. Party get finished. He said, we're not finished. He said, you will go and do what you want to do in your life, achieve what you want to achieve. You will stay come and meet party there. He said, don't waste your time yet. I said, wow. And that's true. Trust me. When I go back to my friends, to some of my friends, I still meet them to where they were, where all we were. as the millionaire. Imagine, just think about this. 10 years ago, you left your friend and living in a man's basement. All of you used to hang out in a man's basement. That's fine. You're at that level. You're at that stage. You got your own place now. You're doing well for yourself. You got a stable job. And you go back and you still meet these people. Stay in the basement. Can I swear behind it? No, I don't swear. To be honest, no swear. No old man in the village making voodoo on them. That's not truth. They have just consciously not make up their mind to change. They have just listen. No amount of pouring oil on your head can take away stupidity from your head. That's not truth. That is not truth. Because even the pastor that is putting oil on your head, with it making you believing that when they pour that oil on your head, you will not be stupid anymore. That pastor is even more stupid than you. For that pastor to think that way, that pastor is even more stupid than you, or that pastor is a con artist. Either or both of them. You have to make that conscious decision to step out. You have to. And until you can do that, nobody will do it for you. Your mom will not do it for you. Your power will not do it for you. You have to make that conscious decision to step out, to separate yourself and step out. And when you come back, they will see the finished product and talk about that finished product. When you started from the beginning, some of them will say, how far would I want to go? Oh, did I get me? That boss ain't going to drink again. I wasn't against smoke hookah. I can lead them. I gave her 1 week. That one we used to drink with her. I gave her 1 week. That guy used to drink with her. Y'all lead that bro. Y'all lead that man. And the man say, when I be chilling again. Y'all leave. We probably will be chilling. The man will come. After 1 month, the man will come back, brother. Y'all leave. They'll be talking like that. Sometimes you will hear it. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you must have to make that decision and that sacrifice. To the point that even some of the patients, some of the coping mechanism we give them is even delete your drug dealer number from your phone. We tell them, delete it from your phone because you don't want to be distracted. You don't want to be tempted. You don't want to be triggered. To the point that some places you don't even have to go there. When you know that you are an alcoholic or you are addicted to gambling or so forth, they play you can drive to. If the necklace on the road that you can take to go to work, find another road to go. Because your mind have not been trained to not fall for that when you see it. So you have first thing we talk about is to identify your triggers, things that will trigger you. But that's for another time. We'll talk about that point. But just on a nutshell, identify things that will trigger you and people that will trigger you. Identify them. And try your best either to stay away from them or keep away from it. What kind of change do we want? Are we really ready for change? Where we pass around and defend one wrong to another. Grown men and women. Since Saturday, I've been seeing grown men and women on Facebook. Changing profile picture, they stand with the other person, they stand with the other person, they stand with the other one, they stand with the other one, and this is not this person, that's not this person. I'm just like, okay, all right. You're been standing. Some of you are not standing, you're not falling, you're not standing, you're not falling, you're not standing, you're not falling, you're not standing, you're not falling. And we're supposed to trust you. We're supposed to trust you. Is this curse? No, that's not curse. It's just that we haven't made up our mind. So let's run through the last few part here. Listen, the next part you have to go to is you have to get into the action stage, which we're talking about. And that action stage will require a lot. Sometimes you have to change friends. You have to change association. You have a lot of things that you have to change around and surround you. It is very uncomfortable. Let me tell you the truth. Change is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Change is very uncomfortable. Listen, I don't have to like you. I don't. But if I can see, some of you voted for Joe Biden. Some of you voted for Donald Trump. You've never seen Donald Trump. You've never seen Joe Biden in life. You've never benefited from any one of them. But at some point in your life, you want to change. When Obama tell you, say, yes, we could, or yes, we can, there was a lot of things in that yes, we can. Today, that yes, we can, they gave us same-sex marriage. Yeah. So it's okay for you to evaluate what you want to change. Start thinking about it. The biggest thing you can do as a sign of change is to start thinking about your decision and challenging your decisions. Think about your decisions. Challenge your decisions. You're too comfortable. You're too familiar. You're in a familiar territory, so you are afraid of change. You're afraid of change. Most Liberians are afraid of change. That's just the bottom line. We are afraid of change. To the point that even when a Liberian know that there's a job that paid them $10 and another job that paid them $12, for them to go apply to that job that paid them $12 because they're used to the routine to that job that paid them $10, they would rather stay there than to take that challenge or that change ahead of them to benefit them. They would rather stay there. So they're my joy here. You say, I know other people, yeah, the people know me here. I don't go what I mean, I know what to be doing what else. Y'all go there. They're running away from chicken. They're running away from change. Because we get so engulfed with comfort. You know, Mark Morose, I think that Mark Morose, but his name is Mark. He's from Texas. He owns the Wisdom Center in Texas. Some days you should try to listen to him. He's on YouTube and so forth. One of his favorite quotes I like. He always says, your difference decides your importance. Your difference, it decides your importance. And that's truth. That is truth. You are important just because you haven't made a difference. You haven't told the people that you support that you're important. You haven't. You spend all your life supporting other people. You spend all your life defending other people. You spend all your life standing with other people. Who's defending you? Who's supporting you? Who? Some of you spend all your life being politicians and other people, supporting them, defending them, making excuses. When's the last time you call your hero? Your hero pick up your call. Some of you are even complaining that you've written years ago. They have not. But you still pledge allegiance. That's fine. That's what you've decided to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me close up on this part. I'll take one or two calls. But you also have to maintain change, though. It can be temporary. You have to maintain it by holding it accountable, doing what is right, keeping on track. So when people call on the president, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. They're not hit positions. When people call on Senator Darius Dillon, there's nothing wrong with it. When people call on Jose Yuma Boakai, there is nothing wrong with it. When they call on Alexander Cummings, there's nothing wrong with it. When they ask them to intervene and speak and get involved with the issues that concern them, there is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. When you tell your leader, I will not stand for you or stand with you in this situation, there is nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean that you're not love that leader or you don't care about that leader. That's not what it means. You know, I always jokingly say behind closed door, I would tell people, no one will be my leader that I will have to defend. No, that's not truth. That is not truth. That is not truth. If I have to go and make excuses for you, I have to re-examine my decision. That's why you're a leader. You're supposed to be leading. If I have to go and make excuses for you or to justify for you, then I have to rethink my decision. I have to rethink my decision. I do. Once I get to that stage and I want you to challenge yourself. When you see yourself in the limelight, where you are called in these little chat rooms, or you see these different things, oh, let's go defend the leader. Oh, let's go defend the person. Oh, they're going after the person. Let's go after the other people. Oh, let's go do that one. They have decided to incorporate you into the Mumu Club. They have. Oh. And as deep as you go into the Mumu Club, the worse it will become. Because now, you become call on, let go defend. Call on, let go defend. Call on, let go defend. That's the only thing you go for. But I want to stop here. Before I take any call, let me post a number. We'll do one at a time call. Let me post a number. I want to remind you of something. Hold on, I'm going to post a number. Oh, Lord. Remember we said here on SKTV that in the next few weeks, people will start unveiling themselves. Remember? We said that. People who are paid by the government. You will start seeing they will in boldface come out and will start doing all kind of things. Today, I got a couple of posts and other things. And I just want to bring this to your attention. Because on this platform, I think me, Sekou, and Tel, we are not afraid to call names when names are supposed to be called. Henry Costa posted, just finished a 20-minute call with President George Weah. We'll go live 45 minutes. It was a good call. Well, folks, it just started. I'm saying it to you again. I'll reaffirm what I said on this show. Your favorite people, don't be surprised. I beg you, please. All of you who hate George Weah, all of you who think that George Weah is the worst, I hope you are ready to go wherever your heroes go. I hope you are ready for that. The worst thing anybody can do to you the worst thing that can happen to you as a human being is to be alert, oriented, grown. Somebody make it to say if you're losing your mind. Somebody make you like you're losing your mind. So all of you who've been causing George Weah and been doing that. when your hero go back to support George Weah, why you do that? I want you to think about that. And I please, I'm begging you. Please, I'm begging you. You might make peace with George Weah too because you will make peace. Please, I hold your 2 feet. This idea of inheriting people conflict because somebody get problem with somebody, so you get problem with that person. That's it common within our society. I beg you. I beg you, please. I beg you, please. I'm holding your feet. Please make peace with Joria now. Your hero had a 20 minutes. You know that how long? When you have a phone conversation with somebody on the phone, you know that how long? 20 minutes. You know how long 20 minutes is on the phone? The next time you talk on the phone, calculate how 5 minutes is. Think about 20 minutes. Especially with somebody that you're not comfortable with. Just think about it. Let your enemy call you on the phone for 20 minutes. Your enemy should call you on the phone for 20 minutes. Please. Let your enemy call you on the phone for 20 minutes. Most of you people who are not comfortable when they call you on the phone say, you even won't be there for 1 minute. But just think about 20 minutes. This show just started. It will get very interesting. It will get interesting. But sadly, some of you will still fall in line. As time goes by, we know who really, really want change in Liberia. We know who cares about Liberia. Well, you can place your calls. Let me make sure on the number here. I'm about to put a number up, so let me make sure on it. If you do have my number, you can place your call 1 minute each, and we'll be out of here very, very soon. But I just thought to, bring it up. Mama Harris, we said this thing here before. All that thing you see on Facebook, all that one you see. All that thing you see. Costa, Spoon TV, and some other people. Go mark on your calendar today. All of them are government agents. They are paid by the government. All that thing that you see, that humanitarian thing, that scam, they're just trying to distract you. Listen. Don't waste your time. That all these people know, they've already cashed in on it. They don't care about you. All that thing you'll be doing, that sentimental, collect that money from Ukraine, and they do that one, That's just distraction. That will still keep you in the fold. To all of they care about, we donate this to the children. We donate that. Hey, people, I don't know how. Anyway, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. To be honest, I don't know what else to say. All the things you're seeing behind closed door, all the phone call, all of a sudden, Joe, we are called. All of a sudden, this won't happen. Y'all sit out there. And Serena Sifa were issuing, talking about the other article, the other one today. Go read what Serena Sifa wrote. Place your call to that number, man. When you're ready, we'll talk. They'll be sleeping. These boys. These boys. We can just pray. Well, we got what? 5 or 10 more minutes to be out of here. So place your call. I'm telling you, this show just started. They think that we're talking, it just started. Watch and see. Y'all ain't see nothing yet. Y'all will see the amount of dry face. Y'all will see the amount of brave mind these guys have. And y'all will see how some of these guys will twat your efforts. How they would throw your efforts down. They would throw all of your hard work and earnings and things that you guys have done. They would throw it down. Y'all watch. Just watch. Y'all just watch. Y'all relax. The thing just started. The thing ain't even going anywhere. We all here. Just sit down. Just sit down there and think this is a joke. Just sit down there. The future is being mortgaged right in your eyes. And you are supporting that these guys are passing around acting like the hero and the humanitarian. Just sitting, just seeing it. I don't know why you want, who you want to kind of tell you the prophet in your want. You got the other delusional when you're talking about people envious. Go sit down somewhere, man. Grown men, women, they're passing around 24/7. You got the other funny man. You're delusional. Okay. You're not delusional, then why you can't go on your show? Five more minutes. We'll call it a day. Boy, it just started. I didn't see nothing yet. Some of you even want to tell you today, because you are so brainwashed. Even want to tell you today, the person kill your mom or kill your pa, and you're standing that the evidence are there, you will still be in denial because that's who you are. I mean, somebody who 40 years old, and your friend man fool you, you're a fool for life. You ain't going nowhere. You won't no benefit to your family or to yourself. If that means in your family, I'll just get you up. I'll get you up. Imagine you in a country. Just imagine this before I close this show. Just imagine you are in a country where you work hard for your money. Only for you to take it and give it to people to insult you and play you. That's it? That's it? So you try to say the truth, you get all the joke all them passing there. I envy of Castan. Yeah, who were envy of Waterspoon a few weeks ago? We're envy of Joe. I envy of Joseph Boaka too. I am. I'm envy of Joseph Boaka. I'm envy of Joe too. Bunch of bouffons. So bunch of deplorables. Nobody can rescue you because at your ages you're still acting the way you're acting. You're still. Who told you say your umpara? Who told you say some of you that somebody? Who told you some of you that your problem can be solved on earth? Nope. Your problem can be solved. Who need help? Maybe that God can help you. That God can help you. Maybe that God can help you. Yep. That God can help you. Passing around all day, or all the kind. You put data. Somebody send small data on your phone. Get you $1 as a data. They're attacking the euro, or they go defend the euro. Then you tell your phone, go with that $1 data. Then you write small thing. Then you screenshot it and send it to euro. I was defending what I was making a case for you. They gonna see your life. See your lives. Y'all see your life. That's what they do to y'all. That's exactly what they do to y'all. Y'all be saying that money, you'll be text you, oh, amen. The man on that show, they're calling the president Neo. My man, we gotta go and defend my man. We gotta defend for, we gotta go and defend my man. My man, to get something from my girl, when you finish counter in the argument, when you finish counter in there, take a screenshot and send it to me. Yeah, Pagu, you strong. So Pagu, you strong there. So Pagu, you strong there. So Pagu, you strong there again. All these people that you see that grown men and women with children. Some of them even older than the people that can be defending. How worse is that? Some of them older than the people that can be defending. Yeah. I want you strong. Guys will tell you to what extent they have no self-esteem to wake up only to come defend somebody else. The least you can do is to listen. But you can't let them brag. You're envious. You're jealous. God will prosper that person. And God will prosper. God prosper that person on your expense. You are in a Mumu club. Sign off from there. You're in a mumu club. If I knew your family, I'll have a conversation with them. They might not carry you to church to pray for you. They might just get you up. You become government, boom. So insecure. The feel that they got to be with somebody. The feel that they got to identify with certain people. The feel that they got to. How do you work? How do you feel when you wake up from bed or you turn your phone on to go and defend other people when their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their significant other, their family member? When the last time you not see Costa's sister post and defend him? When the last time you not see Costa's girlfriend or your wife post to defend him? When was the last time you not see it? Punch your mumus. Don't even know what you're doing. Some of you will even sneak from your job, go in the bathroom to come and say you're defending. You're standing all day. Your own children and who they sonning, some of your children ain't problem. You never defended your children. Your own family member and some of you one day. You never one day. Your own name, your own repetition is out there. You never even defended your own name. Passing around defending somebody. Talking about you defending. Only for you to feel identified. We stand with you. We stand with you. We stand with you. Don't get me wrong. I don't condone people sharing new pictures or whatever it is. I'm not part of that. I don't think that's good. I think that should be off in our society, in our country, and amongst us. I'm not in support of that. I'll be honest with nobody. In no way, shape, or form. I'm not in support of that. But at the same time, you can't see the truth that is glaring. They put Costa voice and you're arguing yourself on your voice. They put a picture, you're arguing yourself on your picture. Okay. Cool. Cool. That's okay. So we just leave you now. Somehow we just leave you. We know your problem, we'll see you. It's just that we can't just state your problem because we'll be held liable or some of you could sue us. But we know your problem. We just read through some of you and get past because we know your problem. We know some of you problem. And you will never change. At age 40, they will just move from one group of sycophant, you'll look for another person you're going to go be sycophant for. When you find out that the other person now, I see you now, I don't see you defending Delon again. And many of you are passing around on the Delon ticket business. And you're standing with Delon. From the Africa, that Kumi station. And from the Africa, Laon Kumis. Okay. On Delon. Delon bought the ticket. I stand with you. I still seeing some of y'all parading on Facebook again with no shame. Talking about y'all standing with. Your feeling with y'all come on air with this standing. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Oh, hello, Steve. This is Miata Stella hearing from New Jersey.
Yes, Miata. What's your point, please?
My point quickly is that I'd like to take the time to thank you. Thank you for this show. Thank you for the change. Actually, the format that you have chosen, USECU, I think it's more beneficial. I think it's more outreaching. And I think that people on the show right now are appreciating you. Thank you for teaching us, for teaching our children. Because as you're stating, going from one post to the other post, going from one talk show to the other talk show, listening to the same thing is not change. This is change. Just getting away for a minute from the same old, and stepping back because you have to think about it. And say, wait a minute. We're going with this politics, and here and there, it's the same old thing. But how are we impacting our people? That was a decision. That was a concerted effort that you and Sekou had to make to come here and change the format for a minute. And there are few mumu on this platform right now who's listening, who's responding, and you know what they are. Exactly as you described the mumu. They won't get it. You talk from now to tomorrow. They will not get it. I just wanted to call you and commend you, brother, young brother. Everything that you are saying to our people, and I hope they're listening very clearly, it's not about politics. It's not about any party. It's about the Republic of Liberia that we all love and care for, that we all want to return to and retire in a beautiful land of abundance that we are endowed with. Where else can you go and find lake, lagoons, river, stream, Atlantic Ocean, and 6 months of rain? Where? You have these kind of blessings from God, but you sit down all day and say, hey God, what do you want God to do? And I'm glad that you are saying something different. You are telling us something different, and that we will take heed. And as we learn from you, we will go and educate somebody else or invite somebody else to listen to this or instruction, to this information, to this teaching. I always say, and I say again, Liberia's problem is not politics. Liberia's problem is illiteracy. Let me repeat that. Our problem is not politics. We know nothing about democracy because the American man and the Western people who started democracy before they brought it to us, they themselves ain't got it straight yet. They're still trying to put it together. And each time they make a mistake, what do? They come out and they say this and this and that, and we will do our best to make sure that it never happens again. And they go work on it, and they make a difference, and they make a change, however they can. And as you stated, it's not automatic. It takes time. Where we are right now, with the illiteracy, it took almost 2 decades. And people coming out of war, did they have no grandma to give them any wisdom? Did they have no parents to guide them? Did they have the whole village to teach them? Some of them are self-reared. So they come, and their way of trying to seek help is to look at you and call you a liar. But they're hurting inside. They're looking for help. They're crying out. And we're not giving them that help. We're not. So I appreciate this format that you're taking. Because what it's doing, good, bad, or indifferent, for some people, told some people, but I guarantee you there are a lot of people who are listening, who heard you, who's hearing you. And those people outweigh the few moves, like I said. I spent 3 months in Liberia. I just got back. I was in the traffic where people were coming on, you look in front of you, and people coming on heads on. And you know what? I sat in the car and tell the driver, hold up, you're not moving. And to tell you, like you say, how these people ain't getting it in denial. Imagine somebody getting out of the car, come to my car window, and forcing and cussing at me. Well, he's wrong. So we just sit there in the car with the air conditioner on, we play our music, and he hopped and talked, and we sit there until he go back and get back in the space that he's supposed to be. And after we show he said he was there, then we leave. What is that? When did we come to this? That's the kind of influence. When you're sitting down and having a program about the channel, and the young girls between ages of, I say 12 to 15, come in front of international guests, and you think that they will be doing something of significance, and by the time you turn around and check out, they jump left, they jump right, they jump left, and they turn their behind up where the president, the international guests from across the continent and the world sitting in the working seat. You could open the ground as we are born inside and die and you cover me with things. That's how embarrassing it was. And what do you go and take the bed and put it in the middle of the sea? Rather than build and put the guests there where everybody in the audience can see them. Is this a concert we having? Is that what it is? It's a basic dinner. You know, it's just too much. In the street, when you got there, from Aladura, straight in the middle, one car got to stop for the other car to go around the gate. And finally, day before yesterday, was that last week, they finally cleaned it up where the mayor was speaking, I don't know, what kind of English that they're trying to speak in April. But at least they cleaned it up. Thank God, that's what I heard. We are tired. It's like, let me tell you, see, you can take the man out of the country. You can't take the country out of the man. So there's a lot of us here in these United States of America who brought this country with. And like you said, we don't. Our idea is to go buy a car to plug your friends, buy you living out of a cartoon instead of having an apartment with a closet to hang your clothes. Then where is your head? You say, when you telling some of them, they don't get it. They don't get it. But the few that get it, and that's on here, listening, to pray. But after we pray, what the Bible says, will say, prayer without words is what? It is dead. So you can say, oh, hey God, all you want. If you're not getting up to do something about it, to speak up for yourself, to stand up for yourself, what difference does it make? We are being shamed around the world. After Liberia ought to be bending their head down. When that ambassador spoke, you know why? Because he was embarrassed. He felt. Because the guest that came, that the president sent to the country that he is ambassador for, guess what? He had to show them around. So many things hit them. And we hit people around. In this country, he was secretary. But some people who don't want to listen. He told us he was a peaceful. He was in the village. So the man just revealed to you that he know the country business more than you. What he said. So if you didn't understand that, you better go ask somebody. But he told you straight, that's why I was in the country back. I know what country people don't do. They work on the question in the street they have. They have a truck. They smart things to eat. The boys, they follow behind the fire in the village. They get there with their minds in. Maybe they're going to the restaurant or they're doing whatever. There was system. There was organization. There was leadership. He said, I was there. And then I went to other countries before I came to Liberia. This is my first thing as an ambassador.
Thank you.
But I'm giving you the chance to straighten your act. But since you want to straighten your act, let me tell you, and like you said, where are they? Stay in denial. Who is this man to come to our sovereign nation to tell us, you want to be a sheet to open your mouth? So even after it, but if you open your mouth, I mean, you will do better.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Keep up the good work. Keep teaching. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Well, folks, we will have to call it a day here. We'll continue the conversation another time. But the truth remains the truth, whether we like to hear or not, whether we want to hear or not. We must do our part for change. We have to make some uncomfortable decisions and take some uncomfortable steps. But that's what change is all about. That being said, let's have a good week. Until something else comes up, we'll be here on Thursday. And then hopefully on Friday for another edition of Mental Health and Wellness This time around, I just wanted to give you the topic and the conversation about what we'll be talking about in our next edition of mental health and wellness. We've gotten lots of feedback from lots of people, very good feedbacks at our rate. We're excited about the program. Please continue to help us with your feedbacks and your comments and what you want us to do and so forth. So, our next topic on Friday, we'll be talking about identity and role confusion. Again, identity and role confusion. Identity and role confusion. So, you got to understand where people come from, with peer pressure and other things, and how people get carried away in the crowd. We talk about how trauma and other experiences can even lead to some people making decisions such as, I think I finally discovered myself, I'm supposed to be a woman, or I'm supposed to be a man, or I'm attracted to men, or I'm attracted to women. Come, let's have that conversation. I know there will be a lot of disagreements because people will want to justify the point or the case or so forth. But I can tell you one thing for sure, that we'll have the discussion. And as you already know, we say as it is. We say as it is, and we stick with it. We don't fight. We don't blow. We don't lie by it. We don't try to make it a little fun. We say as it is. And we can definitely do this together. We can effectuate change. So Thursday we'll be here again. Unless tomorrow, day after tomorrow, something happens, maybe we'll have an emergency show. But you can rest assured that there is something loading. I don't want to say certain things. I don't want to talk some things here today. I will leave it. Thursday we'll talk about it. But there are some things loading. Very interesting. You brace yourselves. You brace yourselves. You ain't see nothing. You ain't see nothing yet. You ain't see nothing yet. You ain't see the level of deception and fakery in Liberians. You ain't see it yet. The one you will see. Some of the old man and the papa who been living long time ago, they will sit down for long and say, wow, this generation. You ain't see nothing yet. You just brace yourself, please. Because it will get Let me shut up. Because the other one I know. Let me give you this hint on something quick. You know, every time we talk about sanction in the government, people joke around with it. Every time we talk about sanction and people from the government, you're lying when they say you're coming. Let me speak to our B Papa then directly. B Papa? You get ready yet? You come in your own baby. You get ready. You get ready. We'll leave it here.